Is there any changes or discussion? Do I have a motion to accept? Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. First up, the financial administration budget.
I know mine took a while.
I did too.
Oh, I'm on the right one up there.
Oh, it doesn't look right. But it's got the right numbers, right?
Well, it looks right, but it's the old one.
Old formula.
No, it's the old one before last night, and I used it one. What's your total on yours?
180.
183.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay,
so-
hold on. Let me go get your copy. It's, well, we can just do it.
We
It's
just do it.
$20,000
Yeah,
more.
so it was voted upon last night in the selections meeting to add a capital reserve line for computer programs and programming.
Computer software and programming.
Okay, so that would just be a new line on it.
We cleared that up with,
Is that a new,
with Laura, okay, good.
a new line or a capital reserve?
It's gonna be a capital reserve.
Okay.
And our idea is we're heavily funding it this year because we know we have significant investments coming either next year or the following year. So that's why we did 20,000, but it will be one of those capital reserves that will continually, once we
Put money in.
put
Yeah,
money
that's-
in, so that we have that money available. when we're
Makes
ready.
sense.
That, I saw that, I was looking at this earlier, that new reserve is under financial administration, 4155.
Oh, it's under personnel administration.
I mean, that's what I mean, personnel administration.
Okay.
Oh, so
Oh.
I scanned it to the wrong one.
Yeah.
So you guys have the old one up there.
We have.
Oh, yeah,
we-
there it is.
Jesus Louise, okay, hold on. You want me to go make you copies, or you want me to tell you what I got here? And
The
then change?
capital, it's in the personnel
Yes.
and not in
Which means
financial.
you don't have the personnel one.
Right,
Right.
so if you look at that, what's under personnel administration right now,
That's
it's
financial.
financial
Let me go
administration.
make.
Oh,
some
I see it.
copies of it.
Oh, okay.
I'll be right back, sorry.
So that's is our
Okay.
idea, because we do know that we have big software purchases coming.
Yeah.
I mean, these young ladies are still operating under DOS. So in some programs.
Goodness,
I
are you still
know.
using, BMSI?
So there was discussion about making a move, this coming year, but with the elections and everything else, and we also thought it was worth maybe looking at what, since a lot of folks are transitioning from BMSI or DOS to these cloud-based, is like, what's gonna be the perfect fit for Woodstock? Do we really need a Cadillac that we can get away with a Camry or something, you know what I mean?
Or
Like,
maybe go lower end and see if there's add-ons to that you
Right.
could do later.
right, so just kind of finding the right fit.
Yeah,
But
cause you
we
don't
know
wanna go
either
too
way
low
it's
and then
gonna-
end
No,
up.
no, no,
Yeah,
no,
yeah, and then
no,
not too many
twice as
add-ons.
right,
Because that's what
no.
it really adds up.
And I think
Yeah,
we're
that's
gonna have some conversations with maybe some other municipalities here in the North Country,
See what they use.
what they're using. Cause I know Whitefield is making a transition within the next year or so, and they've been doing some research, so we can get
Yeah.
some of their research and,
That's
Yeah.
the best thing to do.
yeah,
Why reinvent the wheel?
Yeah.
You pass it down, I'll switch them up in your portal after. Thank you.
other than that.
Okay, so first we need,
Sorry.
so are we done with financial administration? Everybody
Yes.
understands?
Mhm.
Okay. Now, going to personnel administration.
Right,
It is what it is.
it pretty much is.
Why the big jump in health insurance?
Because we have potential of 2 of our employees are going from single to 2-person, single to family. It went up 8%,
I think there was a,
and we have 1 employee coming on.
right, two people changing, one coming on,
Yeah.
yeah. And then. an
And you'll
8%
see we're
increase.
returning like 177,000. It's because of staffing in the police department. I'm with Council Highway.
And we always try to carry an extra just in case we have a person, so we've always, Judy's always budgeted an extra couple or person.
1 person.
Single.
Yeah, no, I have to budget family because we offer family.
Okay,
So we pay 100% of family to employees?
No, we pay 84. I think we
84%.
Yeah, they
Where
pay
does that number
16.
come from?
They pay 16% because for a while we were going up 2%.
Gotcha.
And at the end, with our health insurance, we haven't got this year yet. We tend to get what they call a contribution holiday, and we get a pretty good reimbursement at the end of the year. Sometimes it's 20,000. We're in a pool. It's kind of like Primex.
who's the health insurance carrier?
Health trust.
It is Health Trust.
We can't always compete with wages with neighboring towns, but our health plan allows us in the contributions that the town makes.
That
Allows
makes
us to
sense.
compete better,
Yeah.
and it's benefits are important,
And you have to look at it, the whole thing, what you're
Yeah.
paying them per hour,
yeah.
what the benefits are.
Any other discussion on personnel administration? Next up, the revised planning board.
Their budget, I mean, their computer, wow, I'm batting 1,000 today. Their computer, crashed. And they are, need to buy a new one, and they just wanna go to like Best Buy or. Did you guys decide where? To get a new one.
1 second, mine's still loading.
Yeah, mine is too. When you hit load all documents,
So,
I thought they
That-
actually.
for-
loaded.
I mean, I don't have a problem with this, but
Mine.
they have their
normally
own
today,
computer for.
Yeah, they choose just to do their own thing.
Which one are you on for Wi-Fi?
Because they don't use it.
Cause I'm on
Use it for
WTH
Zoom,
Con,
put
yes.
Pictures on and
I want
that's.
That's what I should be on.
Yes.
They just.
Yeah,
It'd be Con Guess.
you should be on Con, yes.
It died
They
5
put in
days
the
after.
puzzle.
Same as the Guess.
Yeah.
No. What's that? I'm sorry.
The newer Wi-Fi.
Con
guest?
Yeah. Con
Yeah,
guest,
con
conference room
yeah.
guest, and
You gotta
it's
step
capital
that up.
W.
It's on the wall.
It's,
No, that's just the guest
same,
one.
that's guess. What is the password?
It's the same as that.
Oh, it is.
We don't wanna.
Probably
put
help
that
if
one
I knew how
on
to
the
spell
wall. We don't want
Woodstock.
people connecting to it.
Right.
What?
Just use that.
Oh, whoops.
So that's the only change is the
Yeah.
$2,000 for the computer?
No,
It's 800.
It's
We
800.
increased it.
Now I have no internet.
Are you kidding? Really?
Mine's like
And are you on the conference room? one?
WTH Con Guess.
Oh, I give up.
It says I'm on Wi-Fi, but it said,
On there. I'm connected. It's just taking, it's still like,
Really?
it's frozen at that loading document.
that's what mine was.
I think you had an extra
That's
letter in the
something.
beginning.
Whoops.
It just won't load it?
Yeah, I had to back out of that and go back in. Now I can see it.
Am I still wrong?
I think you had 2 W's in there.
It's at first, right?
I'm not sure.
No,
No,
it's,
just W, just put capital W.
No, for
What
her.
happened?
Forward back.
Oh, sorry.
Word
Oh,
back.
Sorry.
Yeah. Okay, you got 1 W. Okay.
Great for internet problems.
And then hit
Tonight, I
your
don't know.
So I have to start all over again.
Yeah.
Oh, see, now it's loaded, so I must be on the right one then.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
My pleasure.
Okay, so, planning board, the only difference is the computer.
Yes, and then that leads me to another question. We presented two different budgets to you guys. And I'm getting ready to start finalizing your budget. Do you have any idea whether you plan to go with the selectmen's proposed or the planning board's proposed?
I would guess selectmen.
Is,
Well, aren't they the same?
No.
No, they're not.
$3,800 difference. Oh, well, you're talking about the revised one.
the revised.
Oh, I
What do
see
you
it
talk
there.
about?
I see it.
Yeah.
46.
Does
I
Selectman
had
John
a
approve
feeling
it?
which way you were gonna go, so I knew what I was.
Um,
Are the Selectmen gonna approve the 800?
yeah, we did last night.
Oh,
We revised, no, what she's talking about is, under operating expense,
Okay.
legal expense, and consultation expense. Planning board had proposed $1,000 in each of those.
decrease it.
We kept them the same. We kept them at the 2,000 that they've been budgeted in the past because you never know, and we are aware that there may be some subdivisions and excavation type of things, right? You had said coming down the pike, so it's best to have it there and not use it than to not have it.
What's the consultation expense supposed to cover?
I think they intend that to be for engineering.
That isn't gonna cover much engineering.
No,
That's all I'm saying.
no, but I think for expert
You
advice.
might get a guy to show up
Right.
and look at something, but.
I think anything other than legal, like if they were to reach out to someone. Mhm, 'cause we absorb North Country.
We
Council.
observed that unless they hired North Country Council to do
Maybe.
something,
Maybe,
wait a minute.
right?
These two columns don't add up right, or is it me?
Which two?
Well, the total, grand total for the proposed Selectmen is 17,800.
But then the new revised.
They
one.
added $800 to operating.
Okay,
Cause they added the 800 for the computer.
Yeah.
600.
Okay, do I have a motion to accept the selectmen's revised budget? Do I have a second? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Judy, we're taking the selectmen's budget.
thank you.
Selectmen's revised.
Ours. That's right.
Next up is ambulance.
I thought that was a joint one.
It was, she's bringing back the budget in front of.
for that one.
Yeah,
Right,
For
'cause
just
that was
that
just
one?
like a
That-
hearing.
right,
Oh,
the board voted last night on these, that's what's coming before you.
Oh,
They hadn't voted before.
We just sat through the hearing like you did.
No, it's-
Any discussion on the ambulance? It is what it is.
If anybody noted, you'll see shared on Facebook, we put up, we are moving towards doing transports, which will. The way it's been put to us, bring us a lot more funds that we won't be coming to you for double digits and so forth, hopefully in the future.
So like
So-
if I need to move to a nursing home. kind of thing,
Exactly,
from the
because
hospital.
right now, like when Andre was in the hospital up in Littleton, it took 8 hours for the only transport ambulance is out of Lancaster.
Okay.
And he had to wait in Littleton for Lancaster to come there to take him to Dartmouth. Helen talked about her, it's hard to get transport to another facility from a nursing home or anything, and John presented us with all numbers and it's amazing, and I
It
think
makes sense. and
we
that
were
also seems
impressed,
like
so
it's
it
pretty
will, I'm
easy.
just giving you a heads up that next year, hopefully, we won't be asking
Yeah.
for anywhere near this.
Seems like an easy way to make money.
It is if we have the staff, and that's
Yeah.
why
Yeah,
you'll
that's the
see,
problem.
I
you'll
saw a
see on
post it
Facebook,
too.
yes, there's a
saw that,
posting on
yeah.
Facebook, so
Yeah.
if you can share it, please share it, because there's people who do wanna come do it, and we think it's a move in the right direction for our organization.
so.
Anyway,
And I will say, I was there a few weeks ago for a training for the Kanc, you know, we have to do
Yep.
first aid training. And I did it 3 years ago, and just the whole vibe in the building and the training itself, everything was just
thank you.
like leaps and bounds.
We agree.
We see,
Yeah,
I see
we-
it going into the building now.
Yeah.
And talking to the EMTs and the AMTs and the whatever they are.
Everybody, it's a great change, and,
Yeah.
you know, change is difficult for everyone, but it was a great change.
But they're all very enthusiastic. It's not like, oh, God, I'm on call tonight. You know what I mean?
Exactly,
Yeah.
and we moved in some good, yeah, it's all good. Thank you, sorry.
Any more discussion on the ambulance? Moving on to other safety.
Ooh. So we're gonna do more Forest Service type stuff now?
No, John asked to increase that budget a little, in case there are forest fires in the future.
Oh,
He doesn't
that-
think that
oh.
$2,500 would
Oh,
cover
okay.
payroll.
Other safety.
Okay.
So that's for
Oh,
fire department, really?
Okay.
Yeah, that's fire.
It is, it's just the way it gets coded.
Okay. yeah,
Okay, all right,
Yeah.
I was thinking it was,
Me too.
No,
they're
it's-
patrolling,
And the
triple R.
communication, is that both fire and, do they
Yes.
both go out of Lincoln now, or?
No, one out of Grafton for Twin State and one out of Lincoln, and then the phone lines.
So if you call 911,
If you call 911,
You
it's
get-
gonna know where to direct you. Well, it'll either send you to, for fire, it will send you to Grafton for Twin State.
oh,
If
okay.
it's police, they'll send you to
Lincoln.
Lincoln.
So who answers it though? Is it Lincoln Dispatch? If you dial,
For
911?
fire,
if you just dial 911, who actually picks up?
911.
Oh, and
And
then
then
they
send
transfer
you-
it where it goes.
Yeah. they
Yes,
send
yeah.
you-
Yeah.
I thought when you dialed 911, depending on your location, that's how it knew where to send you, and it just sent you directly to the dispatcher.
And
That's not
I
how it
don't-
works though, obviously.
The
not
time
that I
I had,
know
to-
of,
the time I had to use it for my mom, we called 911. And we told her everything, then she transferred me to Lincoln. But she stayed on the line,
Yeah, they both do.
they both stayed on the line.
So who are you talking to? Somebody in Concord or something?
I don't know, when we called for my niece years ago, we only had, well, we were Grafton then, so I don't know. how-
Grafton, yeah.
I'm just curious.
I don't know, I have my,
911
I
stayed
have
on the
Lincoln
phone.
post, communication posted in my phone now, so I just go right directly to them. Instead of 911.
Any more discussion on other safety? Moving on, health and welfare. This is all the things we heard about.
So somebody didn't get their paperwork in. Okay. Was that one of the people that was here? I can't remember. Northern
No,
Humans.
I don't think they showed up
Okay.
either. Can't remember.
No money for Mid-State Health.
Or in the music.
All right, sick, okay.
Once reduced down to the list that you see, kind of. There's a reason for that.
But I'm happy that we're still doing Pemmy Baker.
They're becoming more involved. They have an office here.
They're very good.
Yeah.
I,
And their request was pretty much in line with North Country Home Health, so.
Now, do we know if Woodstock, Lincoln? Do we know what they have decided upon?
It is in, they have had a meeting and they have decided. I believe. I can't speak to all of them. But you can listen to their minutes to see. What they've approved. And the direct assistance is just flat number, just so we know we have enough.
you know, is that for yours that you give out?
When we first started on the budget committee, it was a big number.
70,000.
It
Yeah,
was up there, yeah.
Oh, really?
yeah.
But there's a lot of places you can send them to now, right? Or not, or we just haven't
It all depends on how much work you wanna do.
worked to them.
And just leave it there.
I know it's far work.
You gotta get that well, but
It is, yeah, you know. And when I first took over, there was we didn't have guidelines in place, we didn't have an application process, it just. And now we've implemented all of those things, so it keeps it fair, it keeps it.
And there's a way that you can check on them to make sure they're not sending you a BS line.
That's always good.
So I assume you need us to vote.
It would be easier, if you didn't mind, but it's,
Okay.
if you plan to change something, it would be nice to know.
Do we have plans to change anything? Is there any more discussion? Do I have a motion to accept the 2024 selectmen proposed budget for health welfare?
I'll make a motion.
Do I have a second?
Nobody else wants.
I'm still.
I'm
looking
still,
at it.
yeah,
Oh, that
So
one,
page 2 is
that one
more
is to
stuff.
bring back.
Yeah.
Shoot.
yes, yeah.
I'll bring that back on the 19th.
oh, so do you want them to vote? Should they go forward?
No, they
with it?
can go,
Oh.
because I
So-
attached what by line item, so they can see it was actually voted on, it was just. we voted
Okay,
by
so
total.
we're voting on page 2, not page 1. We're voting on
type one.
53-6.
No, you're voting on 51,370.
Oh,
Okay,
It's just our vote last night was wrong. So I'm giving you it, and I gave you the supporting document, because that's exactly what they voted on,
okay.
the handwritten one.
I was off by
Good vote.
1,500 bucks.
So we'll just
That's-
re-vote on Friday when we have our meeting, and it will be okay, right?
Yeah,
Because it was everything, the line items were right.
yeah,
Okay,
Okay.
so I will second if Kara still holds the accepting of page 1.
Oh, okay.
all those in favor say aye. Aye.
Thank you for explaining.
Next up, debt services.
Those are the two, the fire truck that will be paid off in 2024, and the new fire truck.
Oh, what from debt services? I was like, what?
The highway garage has been removed from here because it will now come from capital reserve.
Oh, okay, that's right, because we don't have to.
Is that what this will zero out with seat capital reserve transfer? Is that for that?
Right, that's our 2023 payment,
Okay,
and Helen actually has a check request there, so when that comes in, we'll zero that out.
Ooh, wait a minute. Oh, I see that. Do I treat that as a 2022?
2023. Yep.
I do.
The ones you have there are all 2023. And hopefully that's it, no more trickle in.
Except for the, never mind, I'll talk to you after.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
okay. Now we're going to the joint budgets. And we're coming up with questions for next week. Can I just say I don't like those spreadsheets?
Okay, you guys want to ask me? Will you do that? Or do you?
We always want you to.
Well, I'm just saying, oh, I don't know how to take an answer on these things, but,
If you can, I'm just saying, I'm just being smart.
We don't have the.
Kathy, can you put the questions we come up with in the minutes so we don't have to remember? Yes, hello, thank you.
do you want to see if, I don't know if it's Jane or who it is over there, that if they have a year-to-date
expenditures, like
Okay.
if they have an updated spreadsheet so that we're looking at the most accurate thing next week.
I can do that.
Sometimes we get into those meetings and.
Yeah, we
And
don't
they
know.
have something
Lincoln's
and we
looking at
don't.
Something totally
Yes.
different than us.
Okay, I'll double check,
Even
Thank
if
you.
it doesn't go in our board pack, if we could just have it.
On the side.
year-to-date expenditures or.
Yeah, just
I
make sure.
asked for revisions.
Yeah, 'cause
too.
this is
Yeah,
at
just in
12
case they
one.
had any, yeah,
Because didn't you get over there last time and they had revisions to the budget that? we
Yeah.
didn't have?
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Yes.
have all this stuff that we don't have access to.
Yeah.
The
Thank
one
you.
thing I still do have to say. That place looks awesome.
The dump.
The
The transfer
dump.
station.
Yeah, the transfer
Yeah.
station.
Yeah. It
Friendly
does.
people there.
Mm.
Always helping.
Everything has a place. It's all-
I'm assuming they're giving their help 4% raise.
So it's fine.
what are the part-time that they're doing, or do they feel they have,
They probably have enough money in there to do it.
although their year-to-date, December 1 is pretty close to
What was funded?
what was funded.
Are you in solid waste?
Mhm.
Yeah,
That might be because of shift coverages. I believe. Maybe.
They required some additional ones in the beginning. of the
Right, because
year.
maybe a full-time person might have been out or something.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Would be my
Makes sense.
thought on that.
Mm.
I mean, good question.
Was it Russ up, bro? Yeah.
Mhm.
Wonder where the heating fuels went up so much.
Yeah, I was looking at
Went
that.
down.
Ours, yeah, I was
That's
gonna say,
what I
ours
thought.
went down, so maybe it's a matter they didn't budget enough, we don't see a year-to-date expenditure on that, so.
It's
Well,
4,600.
46.76. They dropped it a line.
Oh,
Oh,
I
yeah,
okay.
they put it in the
Yeah.
total line, not in the-
okay, gotcha,
And then the other ones they didn't break
so they
in.
hadn't budgeted enough.
Well, we can ask them that question.
Yep.
I mean, there's nothing else really that's too. Extra.
No,
No,
we can ask part-time and heating fuel
Yeah.
on solid waste.
And what is their year-to-date expenditures?
Yeah.
Well, and then you get on to vehicles and equipment. And they had budgeted 3,200, but they only spent 350. So
What's the
is
need?
that like just in case?
Well, I would
Must
think
be.
if they ever had something catastrophic.
That's
happen
talking
to a
about like
piece
a
of
loader
equipment,
and stuff.
Yeah,
exactly.
That would
Yeah.
probably be, yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
right, you don't know.
Well, then they have,
Look at their general repairs and equipment was
Right.
10 and they
Right.
spent 98.
that's equivalent repairs, right?
That's what I would think.
Yeah.
Which
might as well leave it there, not raising it.
Any other discussion or questions we want to ask? Okay, let's move on to Kanc Rec.
So Kanc Rec, for the camp staff, it says 8 weeks of camp. There's technically scheduled, I think, only 7 weeks of camp.
Do they have a week of training?
They have a week of training. But this year, the way it falls is school gets out June 12th. And
Okay.
camp's not gonna start until July 8th.
Oh, wow.
Right, and they're going to
Why
stop
is it
camp.
starting so late?
Well, that's what I'm wondering, is then, and then. They're going to stop camp on the 17th of August. And leave a whole nother week open before school starts.
So they don't start camp until almost a month after school closes.
It's 3 weeks after school, and then they're ending a week.
Is it staffing? Do they
I
have a
don't
lot of
know.
college who works in, I don't know.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people now.
well, college kids, they're home in May.
They're in May.
When is it, they're starting what?
July 8th. Like as a parent, you know, school gets out
When does school get out?
June 12th.
June 12th.
So the way it falls, it's like 3 weeks. So I don't know if we can put more in the budget line, and then it would give them an opportunity to extend camp. You know, either do that last week and pick up another week in August. Or start, you know, move their training to the third week in June. And start camp the week of the 4th.
I mean, because most of.
Which is what it started on July 5th
Yeah,
this year.
yeah.
I always thought that they just had a 1 week between kids closing and back.
Right, kids were in school. and
Yeah.
When our kids went to.
And
camp.
that, so last year was the first year that, it used to be an 8-week program.
It's probably because Tara's going on vacation.
Well, I do know she's usually gone the last week of August.
Right.
She goes
Yeah,
to
but
Maine.
they don't need her to run camp. She's gotta have a reason why she's doing.
I don't,
So I don't know if, you know, we can ask them if we can budget more, if,
To be
To
8
be-
weeks of actual camp and 1 week of training. so 9
exactly,
weeks
cause
of-
this, there's not really
April.
8 weeks of camp, it's
Yeah.
7 and then a week of training.
Okay, since you know all the particulars, you take that question next week.
Okay.
Hey, we need somebody who knows it.
I would just. Well,
Well, when you have kids and
Well,
you are,
that's like I said, when our kids
You
were
know?
in school, they only had a week off and then they, you know, school was
Right,
out, the
and
next
so you
week
look
they were
forward
off and
to-
then they went in.
day camp,
But yeah,
because it replaces ASB.
but
and
again,
school.
was it staff and college kids are home?
but I
They're
do
not
know,
working.
at the end of August,
Well, that's, yeah.
college kids go back sometimes in the
Right.
middle of
And that's
August.
what.
That's the end of August, we're talking about the.
So that
No, I
could be an
understand.
optimize, you
Yeah,
know,
no, I
it's
just
still
know
in
in
that
August, that's what I
last
am gonna
week,
do.
still in
Yeah, because the
August,
college
but
kids
can
do go back
Right.
early.
you
Yeah,
pick up
and-
another week in
Yeah.
June?
In June.
Yeah.
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 It would be helpful, I think.
For parents, yeah,
Community
if I
members
had,
to parents,
yeah.
Is plastic up there? Now, do a lot of high school kids work it? Or is it
Yeah.
college kids, is it a mix
It's
now?
it's
a mix.
mix. Yeah,
the mix.
yeah.
From what I've seen. Both my boys did it.
Um. I just had another question on other contracted services. They budgeted 3,100, they spent 5,500 and they're only budgeting up 3,100.
So what was the extemporaneous
Yeah.
expense?
And if,
Why don't
and
they
if,
wanna do-
and why don't
Right.
they wanna up the
Yeah.
budget?
And
And
under
public-
insurance, they say they didn't spend any money this year.
On the liability, on the ski tow.
That
Yeah.
doesn't make any sense.
That doesn't make any sense, why didn't they?
Yeah.
But
But they're
they're asking
budgeting for
for
the
it
same
again.
thing.
Maybe because it hadn't come due yet.
I was gonna say maybe
Because
the
this
way
is
they
only
paid the
3
bill.
Oh, cause that's 12/7.
It's
I guarantee you
12/7.
that's it.
Yeah.
Cause I remember the bill when I was
So
there.
again, if we could get.
Oh, right, cause Kanc doesn't even open till the day.
Right.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
Okay.
That's why it would definitely be helpful to have a.
Right, if they could update. All of them.
Now,
Electricity
last,
went down.
last year, they were supposed to put
Yeah,
that,
both electricity.
entryway in.
The vestibule at the community center.
As a pack.
It hasn't happened. Did we
No,
encumber
yeah,
that
what's
money?
going
We
on with that?
encumbered the money.
You encumbered it,
We
okay.
encumbered
Well,
it,
I could tell you
Okay.
what happened with that. They
That's the
couldn't
next
get
budget.
contractors to do the concrete work.
right.
That's what we, I mean,
Tell me about that.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Concrete has gone up, like one of the prices that we got for concrete was like 140,000, which
Yeah.
was like the whole, like
Yeah.
the whole project budgeted for. So,
that's what we're running into down
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Just trying to get, you can't, it's
and
awful.
so then under materials and supplies, that one's all out of whack.
is that the next page?
Yeah, look at that, it's the top thing in the next page. No, none of it makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah. They've only spent
We're not doing
$400 in
community cuts
cleaning.
this year for 4th of July? What, is that? Isn't
No,
that the
this was a
parade
different
and-
thing. No, that was
No,
Community
Community Fest event is at the end of.
July?
July.
Right, it
It
says
used to
July
be-
4th activities
Slash.
/ community fest,
I think it's all in that that budget.
but they're not asking.
But
they're not
asking
doing
it. They're not
They
budgeting
don't do the
anything.
community
We're not having a
fest.
4th of
They
July.
didn't do it
They-
last year.
4th of July, the
But-
4th of July is done by the, basically.
The town.
It looks like
But
they're not
isn't-
doing it in
So that's under
2024.
the other
That's
budget.
what's next in 2020.
Okay,
Isn't Community Fest the weekend that they do the Memorial Golf Tournament
Correct.
and the pancake breakfast and?
Yes.
Right.
And they're
They-
not
So
buying-
they're not
they-
doing it in
They've
24?
decided to, I think it was decided to do it every other year. Because the turnouts haven't been so great, not the golf tournament, just the
Okay.
pancake breakfast and
And the
the
other-
Ice cream
cake
social
and that,
and,
that kind of stuff.
Movie night and
Yeah.
stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
and then they've got $2,500 funded for office supplies, but they spent 390, but they're asking for 2,500 again.
Maybe they ever clean the office yet.
Well, I was in there yesterday and you're right.
Well,
But
this
I
is,
don't think-
remember, this is the Kanc Rec, not the community center.
Right, and like ticket and wickets.
Oh, right.
Look at the
Yeah.
ticket and wickets. They spent $53.
And remember, this is as of December something, she probably got the bill for that already.
Right.
Right.
So
Right, so it all just needs to be
look at
updated
that year-
tomorrow.
That
Okay.
expenditures column.
So we just need to remember to look over that.
Yeah, and
I'll try to get it, I'll email tomorrow, Friday, actually. And if I get it, I will upload it to the portal and send you guys an email, so you guys can look at it before you go over there on Wednesday.
And that's next week, right? The
Yes.
one over in Lincoln.
Next week.
Yeah.
Next
Same.
Wednesday.
5:30?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the big thing to remember too is that whatever is underspent always comes back into the general fund too, so you're always better to kind of budget what you think it,
Right.
what you're expecting it to be.
You're
And
best to
come in
be on
under.
that side of it,
Yeah.
than on the reverse side, where
Right.
you try to nickel and dime and then they all overspend.
Right.
We've been on that side many, many moons ago.
So in our Kank area maintenance,
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, it went to.
You know, it was-
7,500.
funded at 2,500, they've spent 3,600.
I know that they're talking about, because the ball field floods all the time, they're talking about doing something about raising that, so that might be for dirt or something. I don't know.
Well,
I
there's
can
also
tell you guys
maintenance
though,
line.
Woodstock does not pay 50%.
Right, I was just gonna say, which one are you looking at?
So they're still on page 2 of the Kanc Rec budget.
The
So
bottom, total,
Yeah,
at the bottom where it
or
says
maybe
COL,
periodic, We don't pay.
we don't pay
Woodstock
for that.
doesn't Pay that, that's all on them.
Oh, right, it says town. line,
Okay.
You're right.
Yeah, because they own the buildings and all that
You're
stuff.
right.
Right.
So I
We
guess we
don't
don't
pay
need to worry about that.
Okay.
Any other discussion on the Kanc Rec? Moving on to the community center.
I wonder I would ask why we're budgeting down for ASP counselor.
That's what I was
after-school
just gonna
counselor.
say.
If our year-to-date, the 12-1 expenditures were 32,000.
Right.
I would suspect that we should probably budget.
I mean, cause you have to have certain ratios, so it's,
Yeah,
Right, and then wages administration, they budgeted 2,000, they spent 1,300, and they're asking for 2,000.
which is a 4% increase.
Yeah,
That's the raise.
Personally, I would make, wages for our youth programs and programming is certainly important in keeping our community going.
Yeah.
So if we need to put, if they need to put more in it, that's a good place to do it.
They're not asking for any money for phones this year. Is that because that money's going somewhere else? Under contracted services, it said statewide communications annual maintenance contract for phones.
Oh, they, probably went to Spectrum, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
'cause
So it's
Spectrum
all
changed.
under something else?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's up top for $750 under telephone.
Spectrum phone.
Yeah,
Mhm.
341.
All right, that makes sense.
They changed all their phones over this year, I think.
So there's another question. I didn't see on the was it the Kanc Rec budget? I didn't see a specific line for training. But they have one here for training for ASP and center staff. Why does
I think you'll find a lot of times the staff that is doing the summer camp is the same staff that
so
you're.
they just don't have to keep doing the training, but okay.
I'm guessing that I would assume that it's being absorbed in this budget.
And again, they budgeted 2,000, spent 260, but they're asking for 2,000 again.
It may be that, so certification for like CPR and first aid isn't an annual thing, so
Mhm.
all the staff that returned probably last year had been trained the year before, but then they'd have to be trained this coming year, so I think, and you have to be prepared again.
Right, so you're just cushioning.
I mean, Tara can speak to all that.
Right, she can, but
My,
okay.
my assumption.
I have a question. The Linwood childcare they have in here for revenue, but all the parents got a letter saying they were gonna stop in June if they couldn't hire enough people to do it.
Really?
I heard that.
Yes.
Mhm.
So you're budgeting, I'm assuming they're budgeting a whole year and they're only gonna get half a year.
Okay.
But
The
it's-
last
Page 3.
I think again, you're better off to budget the revenues for 12 months in hopes that that will work out than not, because if you don't, to collect the rent for the other 6 months, you'll have to come back to a special meeting and request the town to accept unanticipated funds. So you're better off to do the 12 months, and what will I suspect will happen is if God forbid that happens, you're not gonna have the expense either, it's gonna be a reduced expense, because you won't be cleaning both sides of that building.
Mhm.
That is gonna
Let's hope
be, that is
something
gonna
else
be
gets figured out.
bad.
How much does it cost for a childcare there
$1,100 a month,
a month? So that's for 4 weeks, right?
but you pay for, like, when they're off for a holiday, you still pay. You still pay even if your kid isn't going.
Yeah.
You're on vacation, you still pay.
And
That's
it's a flat
everywhere though.
monthly thing?
I'm not sure, they get bills. I'm not sure how it works, I just know what Zach said. Yeah. his
But
kids are-
everywhere you
I
go,
think your bill weekly.
Yeah,
but it
Billed
comes out
weekly,
to
but
be-
yeah, like even, and then if you take a day off, you still pay, cause
Mhm.
it's your slot.
Yeah.
How about
And so like if they,
no,
Yeah,
you
so
still
we
have,
you still pay, and then so. When the teachers are on vacation or on a holiday, you pay because that funds their vacation. You know, those are the funds needed to,
And Renee Hoover told me the other day, she's getting done. At the
Yeah.
end of the winter.
yeah,
So-
she gave her a
Yeah.
1 year notice,
She gave a 1 year notice.
She did.
yeah.
yeah,
They've
So,
had some applicants, I know they're trying to work through, I think. Talk has been that there's a lot more state hurdles now with the chapter, so like,
Mhm.
you can't just have someone come in and start
just anybody. off
hanging
the
out with the
street.
kids, right? They
Yeah.
have to have certain certified classes and.
After all the
Background
effort the
check.
town put in to get that there to be, I mean, it was 30 years ago, but still.
The times have changed.
Yeah.
But the rates that they're paying and stuff, that's all over.
Oh, everywhere.
Yeah,
Oh,
everywhere.
yeah, I mean,
Go down,
it would just be
that's it, go
static.
down.
Well, they don't even have an infant room
No,
anymore.
Oh, they don't?
They don't have an infant room,
They,
no.
no, if you have a baby
You
in
have no
town,
place.
you have no place to bring your,
How old's Keith?
when you have to go back to work at 10, 12 weeks.
It was two, it was two.
Childcare doesn't
Do you have to be
accept
two to
babies.
go there, is that what the cutoff is, or is it eight?
Because they don't have.
Glad I raised my kids.
That's done.
oh, they've got their names in places.
Babysitting more than important.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's a mess.
Yeah.
But he has 4 kids. Yeah. Anyway.
Any other questions about the community center?
This would be one other question, after school program revenue. You know, on the, they've already received as of 12/1 more than what they've budgeted. And they're proposing the less amount. So I don't know. Why?
When I did revenues and stuff for the town and everything, I was pretty conservative. I never,
Over. Overzealous with it, but.
But
But it
yeah,
looks
if
like
you
a
do
pretty
30
flat
kids-
calculation.
Right. 30 times 100 times 9, like, so why did it not be that either? Like,
Right,
it's-
why is it more, you know, than the,
Do they take kids,
Did we
like if
have more
somebody was in a
kids?
situation that
Right.
they had to have somebody for a month or whatever, and they just
Or
pay
it
for
may have
that?
been a lapse
Probably
of
figure on 30
payment.
kids, but they probably had 130
or
kids.
payments not received in the prior year,
Right.
caught up in
Caught
the
up.
current year?
Yeah,
Okay.
but certainly lower last one.
Any other discussion on the community center? Okay, so the next meeting is next Wednesday at 5:30 in the town of Lincoln's room. And I don't have to run it this year.
No,
That means we'll be there for hours.
We'll be there till 7:30.
pack a lunch.
Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Please.
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
The meeting is closed at 6:17.